We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's a team down at St Andrews. We are all supporters of our team. We chant a Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's hear you in the crowd, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point of when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have a team and clubs.
Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk Show. Come to you on a Wednesday. Unfortunately, we can't blame Chris Browne for the outage of Facebook this week, but we'd all like to. We're welcomed today by some good friends of ours. But first of all, of course, we're sponsored by Boyle Sports, principal sponsor of Birmingham City Football Club, M&A French Polishers, the Garrison Coffee Company with our friends from Accessory Blues, and lots of other charities, image cleaning. Oh, gosh, there's just so many to mention, Okay, so really sorry that we didn't come out on Monday night, but it wasn't our fault, so we can be forgiven. Mark Zuckerberg, however, share prices have tumbled somewhat over the
night. I saw that,
yeah. Ridiculous. Anyway, look, no win for Birmingham City again. We're leaking goals at the back, and this is a little bit worrying. Is there something more deep-rooted going on there, I wonder? We've seen the concrete pourers starting to fill in the holes and the voids underneath the Kop this week, so hopefully progress is being made there, and we can soon get back to a normal St Andrews. Nothing's normal at the minute, though, is it? Nothing. Even Mark has gone down with COVID. Mr. Rowe.
Yeah, I've got it, unfortunately.
Yeah!
Unclean.
Yeah, you need to ring the bell.
Yeah.
every time I need to speak, I ring a bell.
That's a good idea.
And of course, we're joined again this week by the very famous Alan Watton.
Evening.
Greetings, Alan. How are you doing, buddy? Are you keeping all right?
I'm doing all right. Yeah.
And all the way down there on the south coast.
Yeah. 40 hours on a train since we last scored, but I'm not going to moan about that. It's my choice.
And our savant himself, the one only Mr. Hipkiss. Greetings, Paul. Nice to see you again, mate.
Good evening, all.
Sounded like Dixon of Dock Green.
He wouldn't remember Dixon of Dock Green. He's not as old as you.
We're going to do the show without the one and only Mrs. Browne.
Good evening.
Every week that one does. And of course, we're joined by the unmistakable name, ladies and gentlemen, of the one and only Mr. Paul Mardon.
Thank you very much.
The introduction that was, Paul, eh? But you didn't get that, did you know, when you was like, coming on as a substitute or something like that, you know what I mean? That was a proper introduction, Paul, I must admit. Okay. Oh, no. Stop stuttering.
Calm
I only
down.
stutter when something's winding me up. Yeah? And what is going on at our football club? We started off so bright, so good, so strong against Stoke, against Derby. And we just seem to be capitulating. What is happening? Paul, any ideas?
I think for me, the two most important things in the game are scoring and keeping it out the other end. And at the moment, we're just struggling to do both. I think it is a bit of a, just a rocky spell. I still believe in the squad and the manager. I think that they can turn it round and go on a good. I think they can go on a good run just as much as they're on a bad run now. So I do think, you know, I don't think we can surely play every game creating 18, 19 chances and not scoring. You know, but the defending's worrying me a little bit more. I've got to say that. You know, I mean, giving Grabban all that space on the edge of the box for the first one, you know, you got to close him down. You can't just let him shoot. And, you know, he almost had a written invitation to have a shot from there. And he did put it away well, but put frustrating. A free header for the second goal in the penalty box from a corner, you know, and then obviously they do us on the break for the third one. So they're so avoidable, the goals we're conceding. And hopefully on the training ground now, the international breaks come at a good time for them to get together on the training ground and go back to basics and just try and...
Or go back to basics. Even if we do the standard Birmingham City 4-4-2, I'm not telling Lee Bowyer how to do his job. I know I employed him, right? I know it's my fault that he's with us, yeah? But I'm not telling him how to do his job. But 4-4-2 at St Andrews is the way forward. Mark, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I was gutted to miss the game on Saturday. That's when I tested positive. So I had to miss it. Now I know a Vile fan feels. But no, I've read on social media and all that about maybe Bowie's been found out, he's reached his level, he's never done much, but what a load of rubbish. I don't blame the manager one bit. Still got faith in him.
We're gonna it's been a bit of a purple patch, hasn't it, since he's come in, and naturally you are going to lose games in this league as much as you win them, you know. And
I get that, Mark, right? But we brought in Troy Deeney, the euphoria around St Andrews when we brought him in, and we've done nothing since.
I know. I mean, again, this is what capitulates all the rumours about, you know, Troy split the dressing room and all the rest of the utter rubbish that's been coming out. Everyone was jumping up and down with excitement when he first signed, and that game against Derby, the buzz you could feel when he was warming up. So I just don't get some of the stuff that's come out, some of the utter rubbish.
But Paul, what I've said there, when you've got Paul Mardon, what I've said there, when you got someone running at you at full pace, you know, has he froze on me? Has he froze on us? Are you there?
No, we're there, still there.
I thought
he's still there. He's there.
There was a little bit of freezing on that.
You're right, yeah. When you've got someone running at you, you know, you don't just sit back, do you, and let them shoot, you know, from the edge of the box. You've got to close them down, ain't you, and close the ball down and sort of narrow the angle for them, haven't you, as such?
Yeah. I think he's froze. He's froze. Nope, he's back.
You might have lost sound, I don't know.
Let's try and get Paul Mardon back to the show soon.
Perhaps he's nervous.
I'm here.
Oh,
Have I gone? Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
You're nervous, Paul.
I just said about... I just said
I'm waiting for you to ask me what you what I think of what's happening with Birmingham City, and I'm not quite sure because I'm not as I've been watching it as much as you.
No, I'm just asking your sort of view on when you've got a striker running at you, you know, because one of our goals we conceded on Saturday, Lewis Grabban gets the ball sort of like from Chung on, you know, he wins a challenge sort of or wins the ball off him quite easily, if I'm honest. And then he runs at us and we're standing off him, you know, and the defenders aren't closing him down. And as a defender, obviously, I'm sure you can tell us more than anyone, when you've got someone running at you, you've got to close them down, haven't you, and narrow the angle for them and don't make it easy for them to have a free shot on the edge of the box.
Well, definitely, it's all about stopping a cross or stopping a shot, isn't it? But if they're that far out, sometimes you would let them have a shot if you think they go on, have a go from there, and the keeper save it. And but yeah, you don't want to be holding back and giving them a better opportunity shot at goal. But to be honest, I haven't seen the clip of the goal, so maybe I should have done, but I haven't, so I can't really criticise or give any advice, particularly on that one. But yeah, you want to be showing them one side or the other, or showing them into wherever defenders are, or on his weak foot. But it sounds like he was given too much time, and he's put it away well.
Yeah, he did put it away well. You got to give credit to the finish, but he just should never have got the shot in the first place.
It concerns of these last 5 games we've conceded, I don't know, a dozen goals. 10 of them at least have been where we've lost the ball either on the edge of their penalty area or certainly in their half, and the trap's been sprung almost immediately, and it bothers me why the back four aren't being protected from that. You know, when they break up. We've only got 3, and we got 3 blokes standing there being run at time after time after time. Now, do we not learn to defend when we haven't got the ball? When we have got the ball, yes, somebody's gone there, so somebody should be moving across and backing him up. If it does break, then we've got some cover. First goal Saturday and the last goal were exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah,
it was like watching Groundhog Day. And there was there was one at QPR, and at least two at Peterborough, where they broke on us when we gave up the ball.
Yeah, but I said to my dad after the game, and I'm not comparing Lee Bowyer and Zola as managers anywhere near, but what I'm saying is that game on Saturday reminded me of a game under Zola, where we create loads of chances and concede 3, weak goals, if you like, from our point of view. It was just like a Zola game, wasn't it? And I'm not saying Lee Bowyer should be compared to Zola. He's on another level to Zola, but I'm just saying that, that particular game on Saturday was like a Zola game, wasn't it? We created a lot of chances and conceded,
3 goals.
Yeah.
What was it, Paul? 17, 18 chances or something like that?
Yeah. 18 shots, 9 on target.
Isn't that what we've got? Lucas Jukovic, Hogan and Troy Deeney for?
Yeah.
17 chances. Come on, guys, put save for us.
Well, Chong hit the post, didn't he? And the crossbar as well, didn't they?
He should have scored the first one. That ball hit the bloke's knee and went nearer the goal and hit the post. So he should have put that away. I think the 2 headers, certainly one of them should have been on target.
Yeah.
Going to QPR, we were, 3 feet from the goal and couldn't hit the target.
Exactly. Yeah. So they go in, and obviously Troy's header against Preston as well. It's the fine margins at the minute. You take the lead, and it's a different game, isn't it? Them chances go in. We're sitting there having a different conversation, probably.
Yeah.
But at the moment,
it's
not quite going our way at the moment. We're not. You need that little bit of luck as well, and it's just not happening for us at the moment at both ends.
Okay,
I've just watched that goal. Actually, I've just put it on as I'm watching it, and it was actually 3-on-2. The lad, Blues midfielder gives it away on the halfway line, didn't it? It's 3-on-2.
Yeah.
So they've got backing off because they're overrun. But a hell of a finish, to be fair. It's hard to criticise anyone in that because he still hit it way out, and he's hit it outside of the D into the top corner. That's an amazing strike. So when things like that happen against you, it's just really is hard to defend and reason why. It's giving the ball away in bad areas, isn't it? And giving it away on the halfway line with committed forward. It's more or less a 4-on-2 there, and you can't go towards the ball and have somebody being slipped in around you. So
as a player,
if
and when you ceded a goal like that, do your heads go down?
Well, it all depends how things have gone in the past, isn't it? It looks like Blues have had a bad run of it, a few defeats and draws, and you can feel sometimes when a goal goes against. If you just, like you just said, there's been a few chances Birmingham maybe and not put them away, and you think, bloody hell, one chance against you and it's in the back of the net. What's going on here? So I suppose you can feel sorry for yourself, but that's where the stronger characters in the team and the manager becomes more important to lift everyone and be confident in the ball and not hide and take responsibility on the pitch. But the Hipkiss goal's a corner, isn't it? Yeah, a corner. Scoring a goal from a corner is terrible, isn't it? Every man's got their job before the game. The manager's laid out his formation and who's marking who, and then if your man scores at a corner, what else can you do than blame the player that's marking him?
Onwards and upwards. Let's think forward more now and focus on the Baggies Friday week. And
it is, Paul. International break time now. Time to regroup, right?
Yeah.
Get the guys together. Get a bit of team bonding going. Get a bit of spirit back in it. Yeah. Not doom and gloom as it is at the minute. It's not.
No.
Right. Because, and I really didn't think we would be in this kind of a position, conceding so many goals after I first saw the first game. I think was it against Stoke City?
Yeah.
Two incredibly strong sides. They were battling, working. Everything as a Birmingham City fan you want to see your team do. All right, we had a goal disallowed and that was offside. But and I said to the Stokers when I got back up here, I was like, you're going to do really well this season, because you could see the solidness, the togetherness, and the bond that they had between them, and we had that. I know we don't seem to have it, or do we? Or am I missing the trick?
Thing is, as well, Nick, if we finish 13th, it's been a decent season. So if we finish where we are, it's been all right.
But you know what, Mark? As Blues fans, if we finished 6th, it would be a good season. Yeah? And, you can't keep missing your opportunities, mate, because time ultimately runs out. I'm not spreading any doom and gloom. I'm not, right? I am optimistic about the future, yeah? And I'm optimistic about what Lee's doing and how things are, come along since he's been there. Is it just a run of bad luck?
It's just a run of bad games.
Yeah. I'll go with you. All right, I'll go with you. Thanks, mate. You've cheered me up no end now, kid.
I believe that they can turn it round. I believe they can turn it round. I think if we can get Sanchez back in the squad, back involved again, he's an important player when it comes to creativity for me, and he scores the odd goal as well. So we get him back involved. I think Riley McGree might be involved a bit more, who can make things happen. Maybe Everidge back in goal. I mean, I think Sarkic has done anything wrong, but maybe the defenders, he's a little bit more, he's got a bit more presence, hasn't he, in his goal than Sarkic, he's got a bit more physical presence, so maybe that might make a difference if he brings him back. But who knows?
Paul, what would you do with the Harley Dean situation?
I wouldn't. To drop the captain, it's obviously difficult, isn't it? And I don't think it's all down to Harley Dean. I think there's a few reasons at both ends of the pitch why it's not going for us at the moment. It wasn't Harley Dean's best game for us he's ever had on Saturday, but he has put in some really good performances as well as bad. But overall, he's he'd probably say himself it's not worked out the way he'd wanted to over the 4 years he's been with us, nearly. But I think when he has a good game, though, he does have a good game, doesn't he? He's really good when he's good, but there's no in between with him, is there? He's either brilliant or not the best, But
just let you all know, the poll this evening is: should we put Ethers straight back in when fit? At the moment, it's running at yes at 39%, no at 61%.
Yeah, I'll get that. Sarkic hasn't done a lot wrong, has he, to be honest? I don't blame him for any of the goals.
No.
So, it's a bit harsh to drop him, isn't it, to be fair?
It is, yeah.
Well, his confidence is going to be flying with his international call-ups, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got
a little bit of a personal story here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not feeling too well tonight, to be perfectly honest with you, because just 20 minutes before showtime tonight, I was sat in the Black Swan having a pint. And then I thought to myself, shucks, we're on show tonight. So I've had to leave 3/4 of a beer.
Oh, my life.
I feel quite disturbed and quite ill.
Yeah.
You should.
You should, yeah. You look ill.
So, Paul, take us back to the start then when you was at Bristol City and tell us how it come about coming to, obviously, from one BCFC to another.
Yeah, obviously Terry Cooper bought me for Birmingham City, and he knew me from signing me pro at an apprentice actually at Bristol City. I used to play for a team called Bocco Juniors, which actually Julian Dix played for. I played with Julian Dix when I was under 10 and 11. He came up to Birmingham, I think, when I was about 13, 14 and lived up here. But so Terry Cooper and Mark Cooper's son played in that team. So Mark and I knew each other from probably about 10, and Terry has watched me all the way through up until 16. I think he was Bristol Rovers manager and been a manager a few other places, but happened to be the Bristol City manager when I was coming up to sign YTS apprenticeship. So he signed me as an apprentice. He signed me as a pro, and then he got the sack. I think Joe Jordan came in after. I think he brought Joe Jordan in as a player, and Terry got the sack and moved on, and through Mark, I knew that he was getting the Birmingham City job. I think he was tapped up that he was getting it, and Lee Macari was moving on. I didn't know which team it was, but I was out of contract at Bristol City, and Terry told me to hold on and he'd come in for me, and it just so happened to be Birmingham City when which I think he became manager just the week before the start of the season. So it was quite a quick turnaround, me coming up and playing in the start of the 91-92 season, wasn't it? I think, yeah. So,
back in them days, would it be literally Terry Cooper rings you up and says, I'm interested in you, I want to bring you to Birmingham, or did you have an agent, or how would a transfer work?
No, I didn't have agents. No, I really can't remember. There's no mobile phones. I was actually thinking about that. How did he tell me? I can remember in the summer that year just bumping into him in a restaurant in Birmingham. In Bristol, saying that how's things going? I might be getting a job. So I think he more or less jokingly said, "Don't sign the contract." But remember, it was before the Bosman, so you didn't just leave after your contract finished. The club held all your registration. So even though I was out of contract, I was still registered as a Bristol City player and would be until somebody else bought me or they agreed a tribunal fee. And that's what Birmingham City did. Terry signed me on. They couldn't agree a fee and it went to a tribunal. So a few weeks later, I think, I played a few games by the time I went to tribunal. There's no agent or anything. It was just, I think I was so pleased to follow Terry up because he was the one that signed me as an apprentice, signed me as a pro, gave me my debut, converted me to a centre half because I was a centre forward up until my first year apprenticeship. So I owed a lot to him in those early years, and I was delighted to come up, and even more so with being such a big club as Birmingham. It was a great move for me, and I really enjoyed the time.
Interesting. How does a tribunal process work from start to finish?
Good question.
Yeah, well,
Thank you, Chris.
I can't really remember. I can tell you my role in it was turn up, sit in front of a panel of two or three, an ex-man. It was an ex. I really can't even remember who was there. I remember we went down with the chairman, Terry, and it might have been the secretary. We went and watched Chelsea. We stayed in a hotel the night before, and I can remember going down and watching Chelsea play the night before we went to a hotel in central London. And I would love to remember who it was, but it was an ex-manager there on the panel, and they obviously they discussed between themselves how many games I'd played, what possibility of me progressing, I suppose. I really don't know how they come to a fee, but I think was it Kumar? I can't remember the chairman's
it might have been
first
Kumar,
name, but Mr. Kumar. I think
was
he was
Ramesh?
a bit.
Ramesh and Ramesh.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit surprised when I think it was about over 100,000. I think they were expecting a lot less to pay, but it came to about 115,000, I think, and a little, which is decent money for a player who I wasn't really playing all the time at Bristol City. I was in and out, and a young lad coming through. So that was that, and I went on and really two really enjoyable seasons there for different reasons. One promotion, and then the second season was an exciting season with the Sullivans coming along, and Karen, and the start of that era. And it felt like a promotion in one way as well. That at the end of the season, when we stayed up against Charlton the last game of the season, that was a terrific atmosphere and felt like a promotion, because we were dead and buried halfway through coming into the end of the season, and to go into that last game and win it, that was as good as promotion for me. That was a fantastic feeling, and sort of kept us where we wanted to be in the championship at that time. Two different seasons, but great seasons, really.
Yeah. Go on, Nick.
As Birmingham City fans, that when we stay up on the last day of the season, we celebrate it like Manchester United winning the Champions League.
Yeah. Well, we did. Yeah, it was fantastic. Because Sullivans and Karen and the goals had come in. There was new players being already being bought. I think Paul Mardon and Andy Saville were influential in then keeping us up. They came in and I think they scored 10 goals in 10 games. Or I might have scored 15 goals between them. I haven't looked at the stats, but they scored plenty of goals and gave us a real chance. So everything was optimistic that we'd be challenging with the millionaire owners to get promotion the following season, which obviously didn't quite happen. Well, we got relegated. Actually, I'd left by then, but Birmingham got relegated the next season. And then Terry got the sack in November time, maybe, and Barry Fry came in. So I missed the Barry Fry era. I was just under Terry Cooper, but yeah, that was an interesting time as well. Watching that from West Brom, all turn around the players.
Got the legend himself joining us on Monday, Paul, as well on the show. He's coming to join us on
Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know him. I'd never played for him, but I went back to a reunion a couple of years ago at Birmingham City, and it was the 90s team. So I had the promotional team, which I played in, and then I had the Leyland Daff, or I don't know if it was Leyland Daff then, whatever that cup was.
Yeah, it was.
Players from that, and then I had Barry Fry was there in the Barry Fry era. So it was really nice to meet all these players which I played against and a long time ago. But I always thought Barry put it on. You know what his persona, but he's like that when you're quiet with him. He's just a larger than life character. He's just mad. It's brilliant. Mad. When he's in front of everyone, you think it's like a persona, but when he was just with us before he went into the room and everything else, he was mad as a hatter. Yeah, it's great fun.
Could you imagine him ringing up, ordering like a Chinese or something on the phone? Can you remember your debut for us? And it tells me here as well, you scored one goal for us as well. Can you remember that one goal?
Well, I can't remember scoring the goal, to be honest. Does it say where I scored it? I was really trying to work out. I really can't remember scoring the goal because I don't score many goals in my career. I scored a couple for West Brom and. Because with Terry, I never used to go out for corners or anything because I was quick. I was always the one that stayed on the halfway line for the counter attack or the break. Yeah. So I wasn't really involved in any set pieces or anything else. So that's why I can't remember scoring. So where does it say I scored? Because I noticed it said 1, and I'm going through the games. Where's that then? I can't remember scoring. I'd love to. I'd like to claim it. I can't remember it.
You can have it.
Can you remember your debut? Who was your debut against? Can you remember that?
Well, only because I'm looking at it now. I can remember being really excited because I think it was Bury and we won 3-2 by this. But it's what did you say? It was like 30 years ago, didn't you say? Tonight was it 28 years since I played against Villa in the League Cup. So it's 30 years ago. But I remember joining say that again.
Sorry, Nick.
You say the V word, you get a £10.
Oh, sorry.
There's lots of nice questions lots of nice questions and compliments in the shout box for you, Paul. What a player Paul Mardon was, said Stephen Belshut. In fact, he was so good he said that twice. Paul Mardon kept the goal with the goal that kept us up. And Gaines says
that's where people get. Paul Mardon's a centre forward. I was a centre half, but Paul Mardon joined in that second season, and he did score the goal. Yeah.
Paul Mardon,
that lad's memory's as bad as mine.
Paul Mardon,
You're Paul Mardon and Chris Marsden put into one, aren't you?
That's what I said earlier. Was the job I do now. I'm still local to Birmingham, and. It comes out occasionally that I played football, and they said, "Oh, Birmingham City," and they can't remember. Marston, I remember Marston. Blonde-haired lad. No, I'm dark-haired. I'm 6 foot.
Violet says, a question for Paul: is there anything you regret in your football career that you wished you could go back and change?
No, there's no regrets. I couldn't. I worked hard. Played hard, I trained hard. There's nothing really. My biggest regret is not playing enough games for any club. I had so many injuries through my career, at Birmingham. Even though I played 60 games or so, I think it says I played 40 games in the first season. I was out with a knee cartilage injury. I had an operation in the first season, January to March. I think I was out. The second year, I was out for must have been 3 months. So I had a reconstruction of my ankle. I think so. That's not a regret or anything. It's just a frustration in my career. That's the only thing I look back on and think I just wish I could have played more games because I had nothing like it. All you want to do is play football, and I had so many stop-starts in my career. That was the biggest frustration, but there's no regrets at all, really. I loved my time at West Brom, and I went there and had 7 years there, but I wouldn't have wanted to leave Birmingham City. I was sort of, it was a contract dispute. I ended my contract at 2 years at Birmingham. I did sign a 2-year contract, and had a little fallout with Terry over the contract, which doesn't need to go into, but he offered me a contract which was a very small increase, and I didn't sign it. I only went off on holiday, and when he was away, Karen Brady phoned me up and said, "Why haven't you signed your contract?" I said, "Well, just wasn't quite what I was looking for." And she said, "Well, what were you looking for?" And I said, "Well, on parity with everyone else, really, because all the players talked and knew what everybody else was on. I was way off because I came on next to nothing because I was a young lad coming up from Bristol City. I just wanted to play games. So that's no problem, Paul. Come in tomorrow. We'll get it signed up for you." So I was so excited. Came in, signed up. So this is thinking about it now, this is probably one of the biggest regrets in football, is that when Terry came back from holiday, he told me that he said I went behind his back and got a contract with Karen. I said, "That's ridiculous, Terry. She phoned me up. I assumed you'd talked and gone through it, and we sort of fell out there. And I was sold, and he brought in Chris White, and more or less said I wasn't going to play any more games for him. So I was forced out really more than wanted to leave. So I had 2 great seasons. I played some of the best football in the first year at Birmingham. I was getting confident and strong and having a good run of games, and people were talking about me as a decent player. And I would have signed for 10 years. I was really enjoying the football. But that was probably one of the regrets there, especially with Terry passing on so recently, that we sort of had a fallout. On his side, nothing to do with me, that he thought I went behind his back, which I never did, and he told me I'd never play for the club again, and blah, blah, blah. And it was a bit of a regret, that really, and a sour way to finish such a... I sort of thought of him as a second father, really, because he looked after me so well, bringing me up, and just had that sort of fallout there. So that's one of the regrets, I would say, really.
Did you speak to him after that, Paul?
No, I didn't. No, it was not very. It was quite a bitter finish, really. He felt like I'd got. Strangely enough, I really to this day I can't understand why he took it so personally. That I'd signed a contract. He wanted me to sign because he offered me a contract. I'd signed the contract. I'm happy, and he didn't. I think I played. He signed Chris White. And I played a chart in the first game of the third season. Had a decent game. I think I played alongside Dryden. Had a decent game. And next game I wasn't playing involved. So and then I obviously left in November time, I think. So so that was one regret. But
question: do you think, right? And I'm not accusing anybody here. Do you think Karen Brady set you up?
No, not at all. She had every.
She wasn't that good a midfielder.
Right, we had a. No, she. No. I think she just wanted to do the right. I just didn't realise they hadn't spoken. It was a strange one, really. And for Terry to get upset really was a strange one as well. Didn't make any sense in my head. A player he wants me to sign. Bearing in mind, he was trying to sell me to Birmingham City during that season for £1 million, and I'd gone up there and trained with them and did my ankle ligament in, and then had regrets because I'd signed for him. It was a very, very strange time. But anyway, that was one of the things that soured the end of Birmingham City for me. But not with Birmingham City, with Terry, because Terry was, like I said, I've known him since I was 9 or 10. So that was yeah.
Sorry, Paul. A few of our viewers are asking as well. Did you go to Liverpool with Mark Cooper for a trial while she was at Blues? Did that happen?
Oh yeah,
That was Terry obviously knew Graham Souness was the manager of Liverpool at the time, and I think Terry had a good relationship through Middlesbrough, or one team. He knew him quite well, and Terry had sold, when he was Exeter manager, he'd sold Chris Vinicum, a left back, to Rangers when Souness was at Rangers. And I remember seeing it because I was at Bristol at the time, and Chris Vinicum was a decent left back, young lad. And they sent him up to Rangers to train for a few days with a view to sign. I can always remember it as a strange situation, but I think Terry says, well, have a look at him, have him up there and take a look at him. So I knew that had happened before. So in that first season, I joined when we got promotion. At a great start of the season. It's January, no talk of Liverpool or anything else. But playing Stoke away, I heard that Souness was in the stadium watching the game. And unfortunately, I got injured in that game. I did my cartilage in my knee, and that was against Stoke away. And I think it was in early January, and I was out for 6 weeks, 8 weeks with that. But already, I think Graham had already asked Terry to have me and Mark up there on the Monday to take a closer look at us with a view to sign. So all in the press on that weekend, while I'm sat there with my knee ready to have an operation on my cartilage, saying Mardon to Liverpool for $1 million, would have gone up there for a view to sign. So it never happened then, and I never thought. I got back playing and got played. In the next game I played was against Stoke at home, but that was the game that they had nearly a riot on the pitch. And anyway, that was by the by. We got promotion, brilliant, and then the start of the second season in the Championship. It was only September. I think it was early September. It was just before my birthday. Played at Portsmouth away, and I'd injured my ankle the midweek game, and I wouldn't know if I was going to be fit or not. And Terry put me sub, and I had a strapping on my ankle. And I came on the last 15, 20 minutes at Portsmouth. And on the way back in the bus, he pulled me to the back of the bus and said, Liverpool want you up there again on Monday. All the best. Hopefully it will work out for you. And hopefully I won't see you again, basically. It was like, go up there, and as long as you don't let yourself down, there's a move there for you. So I went up there, got into the all excited. I'd met Gary Ablett, actually, on holiday that summer. He was playing for Everton, and I kept in contact with him. And he met me up at the motorway. I phoned him up and said, can't believe it, Liverpool's coming for me, because he'd knew that they had done the previous year. And he said, oh, come and stay with us. Well, come and I'll meet you at the motorway, and I'll take you to the hotel, and settled me in. And Bruce Grobbelaar was at the hotel, and I sat there with him at the bar, and I thought, what is going on here? This is like amazing experience. And I'm really going to sign for Liverpool. So I go into the dressing room the next morning. Jamie Redknapp meets me on all these
name dropping here.
Like amazing looking back at it. Yeah, meets me at Anfield, takes me in, takes me in, and introduces me to a few of the players. I think a few of the first team players had the day off that day, so it was only that there was still some star players. I remember the Steve Nicol and a few others was there. Molby was there. People that hadn't played at the weekend, and we had a bit of training. I remember strapping my ankle out because I still was a bit sore, and I was strapping it up myself. I didn't want to say anything, so I knew it wasn't quite right. Trained the first day, and then all the first team came back the second day, and we played a little practice match, and I went over on my ankle again. And then I thought, oh dear, this doesn't feel right. After training, I went to see the physio, so I can have a bit of ice for my ankle. Next thing I knew, I was in the hospital up in Liverpool, having scans on my ankle. And they're telling me, you've ruptured your ankle ligament. I said, no, I can't have done. I've trained. I played Saturday. I've trained here. They said, no, you've definitely done some serious damage there. You can imagine how disappointing it was. Next time, that was on the Tuesday. Wednesday, I was at home seeing surgeons in Birmingham. and Saturday I had an operation. I totally severed my ankle ligaments on the inside of my left ankle. So that didn't come off, and they were desperate for a centre half. I don't know if I would have made it at Liverpool, but or got many games, or it would have been an amazing experience to sign for them. But they signed Torben Picnic instead of me. I remember I was sat at home in my cast looking at midweek sports special, and they were introducing their new centre half signing, Torben Picnic, and I think it's Norwegian or Danish. And he had a nightmare, never played a game, but so it was really, really close. It wasn't just a possibility. If I'd have gone up there and trained for a couple of days, there'd have been a Liverpool player. But I came back and.
Go on, Paul.
Yeah, think about the white suit you would have had as well, and been one of the Spice Boys, you know.
I know, yeah, it would have been far off that era, yeah. It would have been a different life, that would have been, wouldn't it, out there? But I came back and I got back in the team for the back end of the season and was involved in that. Well, the Brady's came, didn't they? And that was an amazing time as well. Really, quite a unique time in football. Really, Karen coming in and the relationship, the friendship with Pesh. Pesh was the best mate at the time. Can you believe I never even knew they started seeing each other. It was that secretive. He was the best mate at the time. I didn't know what was going on.
Was he your best mate, was he, Paul? Because that was my next question, actually. Someone asked who was your best friend at Blues. Was it Pesh?
Yeah, well, Mark Cooper, I knew obviously from a kid, and we bought houses in Solihull right opposite each other. So, and then Jason Beckford and a few others lived on the estate, Scott Hiley and a few others. But Pesh was a good friend there as well, yeah. He obviously moved off to other clubs and ended up at West Brom with me, and I went to their wedding and things. So I don't see him anymore. He only lived up the road for the last 5 or 6 years. I didn't see him. So he moves in different circles to me now. Yeah.
Alan, what are your best memories from when Paul played? When you obviously, I'm guessing you were a regular back then as well.
Yeah, I do remember the pace. Yeah, he was quick. He was quick defender. That was that's exactly what we need at the moment, to be honest. Funny. Pardon?
You're still quick at the moment, Paul, as well. You still got a bit of pace.
No, I can't. I don't run at all. Like I said about so many injuries, I feel like I'm fit. I do a lot of. I keep myself fit on the road bike because that's the only thing I can really do without feeling like I'm going to be pulled apart. If I start jogging, my hamstring goes, my hip goes. It's just a waste of time. I've tried it over the years, and I had a reconstruction of my knee as well, which finished me off. So it's probably not advisable to do too much running on it. But I'm definitely not quick.
Alan.
That's for sure.
You were saying, Alan.
You mentioned the game against the other lot, and I was in. I was with a friend of mine who was a supporter of the opposition, and when they read the team out, and I saw you at centre forward, I went, "What on earth?" What's going on?
I saw that as well.
But I seem to remember you did all right that night.
I didn't let myself down. I didn't let myself down.
Because we didn't know that history. We just thought, well, this bloke's a centre half. What's he doing up front? I think we'd lost people, and some of whoever it would have been wasn't available. And as you say, it was a last minute thing. But it was a shock. And
definitely,
the fact that we only lost both legs 1-0. It's a pretty decent. I looked at the two. It was because it's the anniversary of that game. It was posted on Twitter, and I looked at the two teams, and I'm thinking, my goodness, we didn't have to do well there because that team.
We had a Canadian, Canadian on trial basically. Hooper.
Hooper played.
Yeah. I don't think he played any more games than that. He was like, I don't know if he was even signed on a permanent contract. He was in midfield. Canadian. I I think another Canadian, Fenwick, played, didn't he? Or did he come
Paul
on?
Fenwick.
There was another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't a team that played regularly together. And me and Shutty never played together, that's for sure. Carl Shutt up front. Yeah, so it was very much a makeshift. Say again. Yeah, he went off.
Bad shot. But I actually heard a rumour that Lyndon Hooper. He didn't even have any boots. He was running around town a couple hours before the game trying to buy some boots.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Someone asked, I think it was Stephen Gill who asked as well, Paul, who was your footballing hero, or who is your footballing hero maybe as a child and, nowadays as well? Would you say who's your favourite player nowadays, and who was your favourite player as a child?
I used to, when I was young, it was Kevin Keegan and Dalglish and centre forwards like that who were playing. So they were the stars at the time, and the players you looked up to. But then when I was started to become a centre half, I always used to like Pallister and Bruce. They were just so dominant and strong and could play well, especially Pallister. Pallister used to. That was the early days of me thinking about players I would like to emulate. But I was never that sort. I was always a player that liked to play against. I'm only 6. I'm 6 foot, so I'm big but tall, but not like the giants now in centre halves. And that's what I loved when I came to Blues, playing alongside Martin Hicks. He was like 6'4", won all the headers, and I used to just sweep round him. Easiest job in the world, go and win that. And if it goes over the top, I'm there. But I like the players at centre halves who can play a bit as well and are dominant. And I know he gets a lot of stick, but players like Stone and that, I really like the way. And I like Ferdinand Rio when he played. He was didn't he, as a centre half?
Just going back to.
I've lost. I don't really watch that much football now at all. I've sort of there's so much of it all the time, and I've got 2 daughters and a wife who never let me watch it, and I have to spend the time in the other room all the time. So I like to spend a bit of time with them in the evenings. I get home.
Just a general question to everybody. Really, it seems to be a running theme really in the shows that we've had recently, and Violet picked up on it that. We seem to have a lot of players in recent years who have sort of been forced out. Yeah, have we all noticed that?
Yeah.
It's really come to light, hasn't it? Yeah. It's a shame. Yeah. It is a shame.
Yeah. And I just wanted to ask you, Paul, who's the best player you played with and against, and obviously do Blues and maybe in your whole career as well. For with obviously
with and against. Well, there's a player that stands out. He probably wasn't the best player around at the time, but he was a very good player. Was Stan Collymore. When I was at Blues, he was at Forest, and it was before his time when he went to Liverpool. I had never a good time at that team we cannot mention. But I always thought my last game for Birmingham City was against Forest. And in my head, I had a really good game, and we drew 0-0. And because I knew before the game, somebody was injured, and West Brom were interested in me. So I was desperate to play. And I was in my head, I remember thinking I must have done quite well there and played well when I look back. We lost 3-0. Just look at the stats. We lost 3-0 again. Could have done too well, could I? But, and my first game against for West Brom was against Stan Collymore. So in the game with Birmingham City, I can remember being able to handle him quite well. But my first game for West Brom when I played was against Stan Collymore again, live on TV, and he ripped us to shreds. He was on fire that days. We lost. West Brom lost 2-0 to Forest, and he scored 2. And I think I was given the job to man-for-man marking. That says a lot. He scored 2 man of the match. Mardon's debut. Yeah, one to forget.
And who was the best player you played with at Blues, would you say?
Played with at Blues. I thought Gleghorn was a great player, to be fair. He was 7 out of 10 even on his bad day, and most of the time he was higher than that, and 8 or 9, and scored plenty of goals. goals and good character as well. Nice bloke. So that was not really anyone. I'm trying to think now. As I'm talking to, I don't think anybody really went on to have a career at the top level. We were all like championship, lower league players. Yeah, Pesh did well. Pesh was a good player. I think Pesh scored plenty of goals for all the teams he played for, and he was a handful. Yeah. So who else? Just trying to think. I'm just looking at some names here.
Simon, did you play with
John Gale's the one that scared me the most. He used to scare me in training.
Yeah.
Johnny Gale.
Yeah.
He was notorious, wasn't he? But yeah, there's and Ian Rogerton was a great player as well. He was really underrated. So in that season, Rogerton and Gleghorn was, I think, two of the stars of that promotion team. What I can remember. Can you remember that sort of era? That
mind
team,
you.
man? Are you?
Well, mind you, Paul, you're talking about players. I remember Martin Hicks had dogs abuse when he first signed, but Martin Hicks just turned it all around, and I think he got player of the season because you and Hicks here at the back were just fantastic.
Yeah, I think Vince Overson was there this season before under Macari, and he was a big, strong centre half. And I think Lou Macari took him to Stoke, so they didn't. Me and Martin were new signings. I don't know if Terry brought him in or he was already there, but he hadn't played the previous season anyway. So we certainly hit it off pretty quick. And
Frozen.
Oh.
yeah,
Frozen. That famous film. Is he coming back? Go on, put another two bob in it.
yeah, I can remember really enjoying the time playing there.
Sorry, Paul, we lost you for a second then.
And we had Clarkey,
He's gone again.
Brain, really steady full-back, Severs. My Wi-Fi's dropped off.
Yeah,
sorry.
Wi-Fi's dropped. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll come back to you, Paul, in a second. Nick?
We'll get him back.
Yeah, go on, Nick.
I'm back.
He's
yeah,
back. He's
I should be back.
He's back.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Hey,
What was you going to say,
I'm
Nick?
chucked into the furthest ring from the router. I wasn't allowed to disturb everyone's evening watching the telly.
That's all right. You'll never beat Paul Mardon.
You hear me?
We had a couple of players back then that went on to play Prem, didn't we? Scott Hiley obviously went on to play for Southampton, didn't he, in the Premier League, and Graham Potter as well.
Hello.
Man City as well, yeah.
Yeah, Man City, yeah. So we had a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason says, Paul, what advice would Paul give to the younger players? Oh, is he still there? He's there. There we go.
Yeah, I should be here. I can hear you, but I should be coming back now. Can you hear me?
You're back? We can hear you.
I'm back.
Oh, no. Keep dropping
Hello?
out, Paul.
Oh, God.
No, you dropped out.
See if I'll move somewhere else.
Yeah,
2
try
seconds.
somewhere else. Yeah, try somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll have a go at the who, and we'll pick. We'll get Paul to pick his 1 to 11 as well.
1 to 11 as well. Is it one already?
Wait till he gets into a new room. Okay. Just a update on the poll, which was should we put Ethers straight back in when fit? Yes, say 37%. No, say 63%. So we can see where that's going, can't we? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go. It's going to go. No. And I believe Paul's back. You're back.
That's better, Paul.
That's better.
In the kitchen, a bit closer to turn that. Yeah, so it's better.
There you go. You can make yourself do it as well. Brilliant. Okay.
No problem.
So, Paul, have you got your 1 to 11 ready?
I have, yes.
Right then. Okay. Should we fire away?
Yeah. So what formation? Was it 4-4-2?
Again.
It was mostly within that first season. So I've got Alan Miller in goal. He came in on loan and played 10 to 15 games. Seems we had a few keepers in the time there. There must have, I think Martin Thomas started off, and Alan Miller came in, and again Alan Miller. I played with it. Wes Brahmi is a great character, great keeper, and unfortunately we lost him this year through. That was quite shocking to. I'm actually going to the West Brom Birmingham game as a guest next Friday, actually, with a few ex-players from that era. It's going to be a tribute to Alan Miller because he played for both teams. So hopefully we can give him the night that he deserved. But then I've got the back four, which was basically the back four that I played in, barring myself because I wasn't allowed to be put in it. So another good player, and he played lots of games in the second season, and played plenty of games in that season. Trevor Matthewson and Martin Hicks as centre halves, and then I put Clarkey and Johnny Frayne on as the fullbacks. So steady players. And then do you want me to go through it, or are you going to make any comments?
Yeah, no, go through.
Yeah, no, Frayne, I was just going to say John Frayne was a good left back, wasn't he? Very good player.
Yeah, great left foot. Yeah.
And then got in the midfield. I've got Rogerton, Paul Tate. Although he didn't play many games, I think he had his knee injury in the season before I came, so he was in and out and trying to get himself fit. But I think he played more games in the second season I was there. And you probably don't even remember him, but this guy I did rate as a player was Dave Rennie. He played for Bristol City, and he had a hell of a strike on him and a great header. And he was he was a very good player for that standard of football there. And that's my two midfielders, and then Nigel Gleggy on the left wing. And then up front, I could have put Simon Sturridge was a good little player in that promotion season. And obviously Pesh was in there as well. But I thought they made such a big influence in the second season. When they came in, I put Andy Saville and Paul Mardon up front because they kept us up basically in that second season. Them coming in and scoring those goals, we needed a regular goal scorers, and they got them to keep us up in that first championship season back. So that's my team. So there wasn't that many players in that first year. It's quite a tight squad. So
and then Barry Fry came along.
And then Barry Fry came along.
It was 97 players.
Revolving door.
Captain Paul, who would be captain in that 11?
Captain Glegorn, I think. I think he was the. You don't normally have a winger as a captain, but he was the most maturest and influential in that team, I think, at that time. And you lead by example sometimes, and he certainly did that year. I can remember. What stands out for me as well was we got promotion with 3 games to go, I think, and we were all excited and celebrating. And I was probably one as worse as anyone else. He was on the last game. I can't remember if we lost or drew, and we went up as second place. And I was disappointed, but I wasn't distraught. I can remember Glegorn being absolutely distraught in the dressing room afterwards. We got promoted, but we didn't get the championship. And now I really regret that. That was like the mentality we should all have had. That we should have wanted to have that history and being the champions, and it was well within our grasp. But I was just delighted. I can remember just being delighted. I thought, "Well, you'd be so upset here. We just got promoted, and we started the season we'd have been happy with everybody who'd never expected to get promoted, and we've done it." And so that all sticks in my mind. He was a real pro as well. Always. Having someone like that who really wanted to push players and that. So a good captain just for that reason.
Gary Mander wants to know, what was it like to play? What was Terry Cooper like to play for?
He was a great manager as a man manager. He wasn't overly tactical. He wasn't a guy to put really intense training sessions, and he had his pattern of play with his fullbacks, getting it wide, getting crosses in. Just very simple. Everybody knew their jobs, but it was simple football really. And he was a very charismatic man and got the best out of players. And funny character, and a nice man. But how I found out as well, what I found out later on, a very hard man. And once he thought you crossed him, that was you finished, really. But he was.
Few people have mentioned that. Yeah.
I can't knock him. He was a fantastic guy. It was a great player, and did really well at that level that he was manager. He got promotions at Exeter, Bristol City, Birmingham, and he certainly turned Birmingham around. With
limited resources as well.
Managed it through limited resources, and got promotion within that framework. Really, did a great job.
Paul, what was the camaraderie like between the lads back then as well? Was there banter going on and any funny stories?
Yeah, we were all there was no stars, there was no egos. We were all really happy to be professional footballers. You know, there was no egos or everything, and I think that's when you get a successful team, when you're all at the same level, you all want the same thing. And most of the lads lived around Solihull as well, so there was good social going on as well. Clarkey, Tatey, Pesh, myself, Mark Cooper. Yeah, there was a good little Darren Rowbottom there. They were all good characters, and it was a great time. It was a really good time to look back on, and there was. I couldn't say I disliked any of them, even though you might like me to tell a story.
Any funny stories or pranks? No, not anything you can tell us about.
Not really. No, I'm not a great storyteller on that sort of thing. I wouldn't try and. No, there's not. No, we had a really a great season that first season. I can remember it just being one of the most exciting times of my life. Really, coming from Bristol City, not being a regular there, coming to Birmingham. The crowds, the passion of the supporters there, being very much part of that first season of promotion, and we had some good nights out. We had some good victories. I had some ups and some lows with it there, but there's no real comedy.
No.
Yeah. I can just remember stories of. We got promoted, and we never had a training ground. I think we were at Wast Hills training at University Ground.
Yeah.
We were training at Tudor Grange, changing. There's no problem what we were doing, but when you look back, changing with all the regulars in the who were there to use the track or the just using the facilities there, swimming baths. And we were just all getting changed in our kit and running around the track and going through the middle. We just trained anywhere. It was
times have
just
changed.
a completely different world. Yeah.
Paul, did you keep any mementos from your days of Blues? Any souvenirs or anything? Have you still
that was my biggest regret from my career. Really, I've got one thing I did take. I asked for it. I didn't nick it out. In the offices, there was a line drawing. Some artist had drawn a couple of players, and I asked. I think the Kumars were still in charge. There might have been an administration. I thought I might have been lost in administration. I said, do you mind if I take that? And they gave it to me, this pencil drawing. So that's the only... I don't think I've got... I don't even think I've got a shirt, to be honest. And probably if I asked my mum and dad, they've probably got every program that I was ever in and whatever else. But I never even kept a scrapbook, to be honest. It was... just strange, really, when I look back why I didn't do it. So, and I regret that, definitely, because the kids, it'd be great to show the kids. And so, see, I did really do it. There I am. But,
So we're gonna do the Who now, Chris.
Okay, right. Okay, then.
What we're going to do now, Paul, is we're going to play a clip for 15 seconds of players speaking that has been in the same squads as yourself at Blues. Around the same sort of time, and we want to see if you know who it is, and if you think you know, just tell us the first letter of his surname, please, because we want to see if our viewers...
Okay.
Right then. Okay, give us a couple of seconds to set this up. All right. Okay. Here we go.
That wasn't him.
Yeah, I mean we've trained very hard, and everyone's raring to go. So. It's upon us in a couple of days' time, so we're really looking forward to it.
And of course, there's been a long period of time without any games for the players. How have you sort of coped with that as a coach?
As a coach?
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy who's interviewing him.
I'll play. It's the first bit. It's the first bit. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean we've trained very hard and everyone's raring to go. So it's upon us in a couple of days' time. So we're really looking forward to it.
And of course, there's been a long period of time without any games.
Any ideas?
Any ideas? Anybody?
I'll have a go at P. I can only think it sounds a bit of a Londoner, but I'll put P as the surname.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Correct.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody else knows that one then.
Get that now.
Should do. I'll play it one more time for our listeners and viewers.
Yeah, I mean we've trained very hard and everyone's raring to go. So it's upon us in a couple of days' time. So we're really looking forward to it.
And of course, there's been a long period of time without.
I thought that was quite hard.
Yeah, no, not many of our guests get them, you know. So you're
Adam's
There
got
might be another player I'm thinking of with a P and then S as a
as long
surname.
as you don't say Pesky Solido, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't Canadian voice. It might be his accent now. He lives in London, doesn't he? So,
I think Graham's got it. Paul, I think Graham's got it. Can you see that?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, well done, Graham. Yeah,
Well,
the answer is. Tell us, Paul. Tell us who it is.
Is it George Paris?
It is indeed.
Certainly
It is.
was.
Yeah, good player, wasn't
He was. Yeah, he came in the third season, didn't he? Came from West Ham, I think. Yeah, so that's when I left early on that season. But yeah, he was a steady player, that's for sure.
he?
Yeah.
I think he's one of four people we signed that day. I think, wasn't it Savile, Smith, Mardon and Paris?
Well, they all signed in the second season, were they? I thought, Did he play in the
I think they all signed
few
the same
games
day.
then? Yeah.
I just remember the photo shoot with Karen Brady.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I forgot
I think
George.
he signed about four on the same day.
Yeah. I forgot Dave Smith came in that time. I knew he was playing in the third season, start of the third season. But yeah.
And who was
so he must have played. Sorry.
Sorry, Paul. I was just going to ask you who was your actual club you supported growing up as well? Who was your club? Like?
I was a Bristol City supporter. Yeah, I was, and I ended up. Yeah, it was great to be able to play for my hometown club. Yeah, but you're either City or Rovers, like you would be up here, Birmingham, and I happened to play for the right one in Bristol. So yeah,
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And how often do you see Blues? Do you get to many games or just watch?
The honest answer, I watch occasional games. I always look out for results, but I think the last game I went down was before, obviously, the COVID outbreak, and I think it was against. Well, I know where it was. It was Bristol City because I was invited back to do the corporate and hospitalities because it was against my old club. So I went down then. Before then, not at all. I haven't been down there for since I was playing. Yeah, so I'm afraid to say no. I was just got involved in work and everything else, and it was a strange thing to say when people who think, well, how can you just not go to a football match again? You played it all your life. You were a football supporter as a kid. You played it. You just move on. I just felt like it was. I had to move on and get on. Get on. I never wanted to be a coach. I never wanted to be involved. It was all seemed like it was short term and too many chopping and changing and I just felt like I wanted a clean break from it. I know a few players that have stayed in it and struggled and gone from job to job and I haven't been back for a while. So, but I did before COVID. In the raffle, I have won 2 tickets for hospitality through Mike Wiseman. I was at the local pub and I won the raffle there, and the prize was hospitality tickets. So I've been in touch, and he's still honouring them for this year. So I'm going there not to do the question and answers, but I'll go and have a few beers.
Bring your boots. You have to bring your boots. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it won't be much use, I'm sure.
And what are you doing now? What are you doing nowadays with yourself?
I work for myself. I've been in the last 20 years, possibly now. Yeah, quite a few years now, working in the furniture trade, business to business sales. So in the Birmingham area, I supply some of the furniture that's in Cousins, Cooks, Leland's, Wharton's, stores like that. The job is just to sell them furniture and from into the furniture game. An agent. I'm an agent, but only in furniture. Not quite as lucrative, unfortunately.
You might give up my garden furniture. That's from Wharton's. My garden furniture.
Is it? Yeah. I don't supply them garden furniture, but a few sofas and dining tables they've had in there from the companies I represent. Yeah. So yeah, completely different. I actually worked at Virgin for the first couple of years when I retired in the Blythe Valley. If anybody's been members there, I was working there in the first 2 years after finishing, because I finished with a knee injury. I had a bad injury at West Brom with 2 years left on my contract, so I knew inevitably that I'm more likely that I wouldn't get back and play. What the surgeon told me, so I went back to college around the rehab at West Brom and did a HND in sports science, which was quite interesting. It's Solihull College. I'm a 31 pro footballer, and I'm there with 20-year-old kids there sat in the class. Great time, really enjoyable. But then I went and worked for Virgin, and then ended up somehow in the furniture trade. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh, good.
Alan, any more questions?
Yeah, can I? This is a match you played against us.
Okay.
Memories of the Blues Albion game at the Hawthorns, which Birmingham won 4-2, but somehow we managed to get relegated, and you managed to stay up.
Well, that game, I think Claridge was that the game, the third season when you're talking about the Barry Fry era when they got relegated. I remember having a bit of a stinker that game, I think, to be honest. And
I didn't like to mention it.
No, I can remember. I can remember having better games. I think the following season, the season after, we beat Blues, and it couldn't be the following season because obviously Blues got relegated, but the season after, having a decent game against Blues. But that game was, I think it was midweek, and it was all touch and go whether who would stay up between West Brom and Birmingham, which was quite ironic after I'd been at both clubs. But yeah, I can't remember where. I think were you at Stockport, Birmingham at Stockport? I can remember being at
Tranmere. You were
Tranmere,
I think.
Yeah, we were at Portsmouth, and we won with a Lee Ashcroft goal, and I think we finished on level points. I think it was goal difference, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. But well, I can remember the game, and I can remember Steve Claridge playing, and
Louis Donnell's goal.
From the halfway line.
Yeah, he could have got into my top 11. Actually, he was a good player. But, he stayed there quite a few years, didn't he, Louis? He played so long at.
And he was fast as well.
Yeah. He was actually one. He won the when at Bristol City. He was at Bristol City when I was there as well. He was obviously Terry Cooper must have brought him up to Birmingham at the same time. And was it? I'm not sure if he was a Birmingham player or Bristol City. It doesn't matter anyway. But it was either me or him that went to represent the club as for the fastest player in the league.
Oh, the
Rumblers. It was at St. Greavesy did it. It was a challenge where players in their football boots ran 100 metres, and Louis won it, to be fair. Louis won the quickest championship player. So, even though we never had a race to see who would go through, but I think he was quickest. But I didn't have much choice. He nominated himself.
We've got to do, Nick. We need to do
football.
Sorry?
Think when they bought that shirt into you for the first time. That was right. Shirt.
If you Google on somebody showed me a few years ago. Google the worst shirts ever worn. It's either a picture of me with it on, or Holmesy, Paul Holmes, the fullback. It's either me or him that pops up on it. So that's my other claim to fame. Whenever you Google the worst shirts ever worn, it's either me or him that come up.
But what I don't know how it, or where it was presented to you for the very first time, but like, what the hell did you really think? Because like, and then we were all Triton showers, right? We're all the cops singing, "Oh, I'd rather have a shower than a bath." Oh, I'd rather have a shower.
That must have come in. That obviously happened with the Kumas, wouldn't it? It was the his national colours of his country flag, wouldn't it? In there, so I think he was trying to bring those colours into the kit. But second season,
it was dog awful. Dog.
Yeah.
I'm saying it.
But the kit you showed a kit earlier. The second season kit, which had Triton showers on, was a decent one. The blue and white sleeve, the white sleeves one, that wasn't a bad kit.
There's a lot of replicas of it doing the rounds, and drinks coasters and scarves I see, and all sorts of different things nowadays that are being sold that are like a replica of that kit back then. To
be honest, I can't remember thinking it was hideous at the time, so I didn't really pay too much. I was just happy to put the shirt on, not worry what it looked like too much. But now I look back on it, I can see why everybody had a problem with it. But at the time, I'd have put any shirt. And we had a yellow one at West Brom, where Alan Buckley was trying to think we were Brazil, I think.
From that back then, but you know what? When you guys walked out with that shirt, and I thought, oh my god!
Do you not have one yourself? Then you didn't buy one. You didn't buy the one to wear to the game. That was the 1 year you missed out on, was it?
I did. I had one.
Did you?
I've got like a replica of it now.
Right,
well.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, into the last 15 minutes of the show we go, and we have been practicing this all day long, ladies and gentlemen, and we've come up with some amazingly simple answers. The last 15 minutes of the show is always to do with word association, as you know, anything to do with football tonight and electricity. And I'm going to start you off because somebody will do this shortly with, I don't know whether it was the winner this afternoon, and I can't judge that because it was my suggestion. Hotter chocolate. Shock a lot.
Yeah, it was clever.
Okay, yeah.
That was clever.
Come on then, boys. You've got one each. We've got one each. That's my one.
Okay. What about? I was thinking of the Brian Fuse, Fusey, Brian Fuse.
Yeah, okay, I get that one.
Fuse, yes, very clever.
This is word association, Paul. If you're wondering what on earth.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, you're not coming to me. As a guest, I don't have to say anything. Do I?
I've got one. Kwame Ampadu.
Oh, very clever.
Yeah.
I missed that, Alan. What was that?
Kwame Ampadu.
Like it.
Where did you pluck that one from, kid? Come on, what's your one?
Say plug it or pluck it.
I'm just going to be boring and say Mark Bright.
Yeah, that's
boring.
all right.
Yeah, boring. Chris, what's your?
I haven't got one, sorry.
You haven't got one?
No, I'm busy. Max Power.
You're having a wee in the book.
Max Power, somebody's just said. Sparky Hughes.
Sparky.
This is good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have no access again until Christmas and to another computer, which is my 60th birthday this year. 60. I'll be 60 years old this Christmas Day. I've never told anybody that before.
Crikey, I think it's a lot older now.
For a few things, I want a new iPad so that I can put it in front of the old phone here while I'm doing the show, and a registration plate at K888, who used to be our sponsor. Sorry, boys, sports. PRO. And if I don't get them, there's going to be trouble in this house. There will be trouble in this house. Now, I'm having a big party on the 18th, and I'll be sending some invitations out from some wonderful people very shortly. But it's going to be up here, right? And you know what? Being born on Christmas Day, I've never had a party. Never. As a child, growing up in the 60s, you weren't allowed out. So I'm having a 60th batch this year, ladies and gentlemen. We might record it live. You're very welcome to come, Alan.
Thank you.
All right.
If it clashes with the home game, I'll be there.
Now it's all right, £25 a ticket. But three parts of the club will be shut because there's no concrete underneath it.
Paul, who was the funniest player at Blues at that time? Who would you say was the funniest around the dressing room and training ground and stuff?
Dan Rowbottom was a bit of a character when he came in. He was always cracking jokes and taking the mickey. And the butt of the jokes was always Dryo. Richard Dryden. He was.
Didn't you call him Wordsworth?
Yeah, he was a West Country lad, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he used to get his words muddled up, and yeah, I think he had to meet at the airport, and he was like, "Oh, what time we got to be at the plane station?" That's what I remember. He couldn't get the airport.
The plane station. I like that one.
But, yeah. So that always sticks in my mind, and you always come out with classics like that, getting the words muddled round and ran the wrong way and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Browne, can you please keep your eye on the shout box and just read as many of these out?
Yeah. Here's a good one for you, Nick. Electric Van Nistelrooy.
Oh, like that one.
Eon Dublin.
Oh.
Grant Bolt. Marky Sparky Hughes.
Yeah, we got that one, yeah.
Gaz Gardner. Plug Ellis. Lecco.
Actually, Gaz, that is clever. Well done.
I like that.
Dennis Burke Amp.
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne Oms Holmes. Pedro Power. He plays in the Brazilian League. Barry Freud. Jonathan Electrician. Lecco-trician. Ricky Otto, prices are high. Nick, here we go. Nicky Buttspark. There's always one in there.
No.
We can't say that.
Name and shame, please, Chris Browne. Name and shame.
Oh dear, I have to vet some of these. Kevin Electric Keegan. Shockstein, very clever. Meter Shilton and Shocks County. Yeah, we go.
Hang on a minute.
I actually know I had Meter Bonetti, if you remember. I didn't.
What about Dimmy Gray?
Hey?
Oh.
Dimmy Gray?
Dimmy.
Dimmy Gray?
It's got to be Dimmer.
Yeah, but...
Oh, Dimmer.
Yeah.
Dimmer.
I think, Paul, you're assuming our audience are clever, so that ain't going to work.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Paul, is Richard Dryden still at Forest Green? He was in the coach.
Well, he was. He's assistant to Mark Cooper, but they've now gone up to Barrow. Mark's manager of Barrow, so I think Richard's there as well. So he's followed him around a few clubs. Yeah. So.
Still in touch with some of the lads back then. Are you still?
Not so well. No, I speak to a couple of players from West Brom, quite very Paul Raven, a few others. But no, I don't. I've got devs in Clarkey on Facebook, so I see what's going on in their lives. But it's not often. I haven't met up with them for a long time now. But yeah, sad, isn't it? Yeah, sad.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start getting in contact and having a beer.
Yeah, do it.
Good. Yeah,
do it.
Makes you realise after COVID, don't it, when you're locked up and how important people are, and should get in contact.
Yeah, life's too short, Paul.
Listen, I've got another one. Are you ready? Transforming Rovers.
I like Adam.
Where did I pluck that one from?
I don't know. Where did you plug that one from?
I like Adams. Jude Dorr Ballingham. I can't say it. Jude Dorr Ballingham.
That's good one. Dorr Bellingham.
Dorr Bellingham. Yeah, thanks, Mark. I couldn't say it then. I lost my.
Pylon King. I like that one.
Yes, that was a good one.
Paul Plugba.
Plugba, yeah.
Frankler Ampard, yeah.
Got any socket?
Turn on.
David, Craig's is good. Here. David Shotdale.
That's a good one.
Why didn't we get that at dinner time?
I don't know. You must have done about 30 or 40 attempts at that. No good. Brilliant. Nick, we've got a special guest, haven't we, on Monday?
We have. This Monday, ladies and gentlemen, coming up is the one and only, of course, ex-Birmingham City manager himself, piddled in all four corners, as we all know, Barry Fry. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be Barry Fry this coming Monday. Please put your children to bed before 7:30. Please. No.
Not nice.
No, he'll be all right. Sure, I think.
He'll be fine.
Not sure.
No.
It's one that we've been after for a very, very long time, and and I sent an email many moons ago to Barry. Never got a response. I had the absolute fortune to meet him at where was it?
A couple of weeks ago, Midway.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, and you know what? The guy is a character, guys. He's an absolute character. If you can, preempt your questions, because the shout box now is going to be manic. It will be manic, right? Now, our highest audience for this show, right, ever in the 11 years that we've done it, is 97,600 people around the world. Chris, you'll confirm.
Oh, it was a crazy night. That was
600 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Once COVID is over and we're all done, I do promise you we will organise a coach to go down to Bath City and see Jerry Gill down there. The contingency of Blue Nose, which will be an absolutely marvellous day, a brilliant day.
good.
Please do expect me to be fast asleep on the floor of the coach on the way back, because that's where I normally end up. Does it? But Barry Fry next week. If you can, send in your questions to the Tilton Talk page in the week, because, you know, we really want to make those 90 minutes with Barry a marvellous experience for everybody, right? And we want to get as many questions in from you guys, right? Because it's not about us, not at all about us. It's about you. And if you want to ask Barry a question, waz them in. Chris, I'm sure through the course of the week you'll be filtering about and saying, we'll ask that one. Whatever. But just stick them on the Tilton Talk page, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so pleased, and I hope this guy's listening tonight. Guy chap walked into the MOT station today, and he got a bit of an accent on him, should we say, a little bit, and was talking about a certain football club across the I've never heard of him. Well, being a blue nose myself, right? And he went, the Blues! And he took his shirt and everything off, his levers and everything off. And he got a T-shirt on, ladies and gentlemen. Birmingham City, Carling, 2011. I had the longest conversation. I shouldn't have been paid for an hour, to be honest with you. I had the longest conversation with that. And afterwards, the boss's missus said to me, she goes, I've learned more about Birmingham City today in the last hour than I've learned in my lifetime. But you know what? We had a bit of banter and a bit of fun, Chris. I want to think about. Any more coming in now? Any more?
Just before that, just to mention, Nick, that we've got some special guests joining us as well next week on Monday. So I can't say.
That's a good one. Jason Hughes, Sir Keith Simons. Remember Keith Simons? Sir Keith Simons.
Yeah.
Tell us about your one. Is it one international cap you got for Wales?
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. Was it against Germany?
Yeah, that probably came about partly from the time at Birmingham City. We played West Brom in the first season, and Bobby Gold was manager of West Brom, and Don Goodman was the star player at West Brom. And we went there. I think they were. We were the underdogs there going there, and they went on their patch. We won 1-0, and I sort of had a great game, marked Don Goodman out the game. And it was a great experience there. And Kevin Drinkle came, I think it was on loan for us, and scored the goal. Yeah. It was a great event. I had a really good game there, one of the better ones I had that year. And I think it stuck in Bobby Gold's memory. I think he knew me from Bristol City as well, because he was Bristol Rovers manager. So he had a bit of history of it. So when I was doing okay at West Brom, I think we were playing against, I don't know if it's allowed to do this anymore. It was English against the foreigners in the like a five-a-side game for West Brom, and it was and I didn't. There was a few Irish, and we needed some more to go on the other side, and I went. I've got some Welsh blood. My grandfather's Welsh, so I went on that side, and Alan Blockley said, "Welsh? Didn't know you had any Welsh blood." And he said jokingly, "I'll have you on that Welsh squad next week." Yeah. And literally the next weekend, he'd phoned Bobby Gold up and said, "You know, Paul Mardon's Welsh, got Welsh heritage." And they'd never gone to second generation at that stage. They'd all gone to the firstborn. So the next weekend, I was called in down to the
Wow.
German Euro 96 squad. I went down there with a view to just training with them. I think Bobby must have phoned me up or sent me a letter saying, you're not officially in the squad, because I think it was already announced. Come down and train in the build-up to it. So I went down on the Saturday. A few players pulled out with injury. I think somebody else went down ill on the Monday. Next thing I knew, I was on the bench against Germany.
I didn't know that
and
story.
ended up
Crikey.
getting on the pitch. So yeah, and I would have got a few more caps because I was in a few squads. I was subbed twice against Italy. I was going to fly out to Albania and got pulled out because I had a broken hand. I played against Derby with a broken hand in a soft cast, and they wouldn't let me fly. And everybody was pulling out. It was only a friendly against Albania. I would have played there as well. But yeah, it was a great experience.
Well, time has beaten us, I'm afraid.
Drank in America, Belgium, Ireland, Sweden, Spain, New York, Menorca, Ibiza, Cyprus, Turkey. I've drank in Egypt. 32 different countries I've drank in. That's not quite like playing football, ladies and gents, is it really? But you know what? That's my game. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight, ladies and gents, to be with you. Sad to do it on a Wednesday rather than a Monday, but you know what? Mark Zuckerberg, you're answerable, not us this time round. Paul Hipkiss, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Pleasure as always. Keep right on.
Rove, thank you for being with us tonight.
That's all right. Hope everybody has a good week.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, get well soon, Mark.
No, cheers for that. Yeah, thanks for all the nice messages on the pages and stuff.
Feeling better?
Are you going to have to burn that blue thing that you're wearing after you get better?
You're wearing one as well, Alan.
Never. Hey!
So thanks, Paul, Mark. Thanks to Alan Watton, ladies and gents, all the way from down south.
Thank you very much. Pleasure as always.
Down south, mate. Down south. From myself and, of course, the one and only Mrs. Browne.
Good evening, good night.
But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you, Paul, for giving your time up for us tonight on the Tilton Talk Show. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. And you know what? Wow. Every single week we have a guest on and we hear so many different stories and so many different things. Like tonight has once again been an inspiration to us. We're Birmingham City. We'll do what we want. Paul Mardon, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Nice to meet you all.
Cheers, Paul.
Paul, good luck. I think you do, my friend. Thank you for your service to our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful football, Birmingham City Football Club. This has been sponsored by Ball Sports, principal sponsor of Birmingham City, with and all the rest of it. Okay.
Good night.